All right, welcome. We are into week 7. We are looking for the waiver wire targets to pick up. Scouring online, looking at these. Somehow, most of these are still on the majority of waiver wires. Now, you may have a deep league. They may be already taken, but these guys are already sitting there waiting for you to take in week 7. So we're going to go through a list. It might be a long list, so hopefully this is helpful for you. If it is, make sure to hit that follow button. We're on YouTube. We are on, obviously, TikTok, Twitter, @advisors_team. So go check everything out. I will put it in the description of the video. So go check it out. Let's rock and roll. So the first one we were looking at, Drake May. So he made his debut last week, and it was a little bit later in the week, but when we got it, gold. So 243 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 38 rushing yards, and he gets a Jaguars defense in week 7. I think he's able to absolutely shred them here. So very excited for what he brings to the table in week 7. Coming off a bye, Sam Darnold. Somehow he is still underappreciated and underowned in most leagues. So we look at him. I don't know how he's got a fantastic schedule coming up, and off of a bye, week 7, he's got the Lions. They're the 8th worst against the fantasy quarterbacks. Week 8, the Rams, which are 4th worst. Week 9, Colts, which are 3rd worst. And week 10, he gets the Jaguars, which are the worst teams against the opposing quarterback. So those two quarterbacks are in a great spot. Very excited to see what they're able to do in week 7. Looking into some of the running backs, Tyrone Tracy Jr., a converted wide receiver. 50 yards and a rushing touchdown. Also, 57 yards last week on 6 catches. So he's involved in everything. Even if Singletary is in, I still think Tracy will get those targets that Singletary might not get. So I do have Tracy there. Another one is Tank Bigsby or Dearness Johnson, depending on who is going to be available and who Jacksonville are going to hopefully give. We've got ETN, negative yards last week. So I don't know if he's on the outs, but you do have Bigsby and Johnson who could be in store for a good game here. Another one is Antonio Gibson. So he overtook Ramondre Stevenson 2 weeks ago. Stevenson has fumble issues. Then he got hurt. We'll kind of monitor to see if he's going to be hurt. But Antonio Gibson here, he had 16 touches for the Patriots with Stevenson out. And he's got a great matchup here again with the Jaguars. So really like what New England has cooking for this weekend. Next one is Sean Tucker, Tampa Bay. The Millie Maker on DraftKings, the guy had Sean Tucker. I think he was 0.2% owned. He's not owned in the majority of leagues unless you're in a dynasty league or a very, very deep league. Very bad undrafted player. Then failed to produce rookie season. Monster game, 192 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. This is a stash. I don't think we're starting him this week, but we might start to see that maybe he starts to get in favor here in this offense with Baker Mayfield. Another one is Ty Chandler. So this kind of depends on how Aaron Jones is feeling. So they're coming out, he left hurt, then they had the bye. Kind of monitor the situation, but if you want to pull him and you've got an open spot, I think Ty Chandler makes sense for Minnesota. Next one is Isaac Guerendo for San Francisco. Jordan Mason has been amazing. He's been the number 2 running back this season, but he has an AC joint injury. Obviously left the game last week, came back in and then left immediately, screwed a lot of people over. Guerendo had 99 yards on just 10 carries. If you see this, I don't know if it's the running back or if it's the system that San Francisco has. But both of them seem to be really good, and their running backs have been amazing. Not saying Guerendo is as good, obviously not as good as CMC, maybe Jordan Mason, but we've got something going on. So this will definitely hinder Mason if he is in or out. That's something to monitor, but if you have a spot, Guerendo is a good spot. Cleveland. So Jerome Ford sustained an injury, and missed most of week 6. Don't know how big it's going to be. Nick Chubb is expected to be back in week 7. Probably not going to be on the field for very long. So you got Deontay Foreman, you got Pierre Strong. Depending on where you want to go with that, if you do have an open spot, I do have one of those. Foreman had 12 touches for 47 yards. Strong had 10 touches for 78 yards. So I think Chubb's probably going to be out there, maybe 10 carries, something like that. They're going to ease him back in. If you need someone in a pinch for week 7 because someone's on a bye, make sure you check out Foreman or Pierre Strong. Wide receiver, Bub Means. Olave left week 5 with an injury. Means stepped up and produced. He led the Saints in targets with 8, catches 5, 45 yards, and a TD. If Olave misses time, Rattler might have that feel for Bub Means. Again, this is a stretch if you need a wide receiver. Another one you're looking at, another New England Patriot, Demario Douglas. Drake May, obviously they work together. Some sort of gelling together. I think Demario Douglas, if you're needing a wide receiver, makes sense to at least stash him for week 7. Week 8, or another wide receiver, we've got Josh Downs. I love Josh Downs with Joe Flacco in this starting role. But if Anthony Richardson is in there, I think it brings him down a little bit. But you got Josh Downs, 66 yards and a touchdown. I love the offense with Flacco. So this one will be very contingent if it's Anthony Richardson or Flacco. So if it is Richardson, I probably don't like him as much. Another one. Chiefs are needing wide receivers. Coming off a bye, they obviously lost Rashee Rice. They have Xavier Worthy, but Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know how he's still on the waiver wire. Unless you're in a very small, like 8-team league, he should not be on the waiver wire. You should be picking him up. I would look at Juju. Obviously not as huge as a guy as he was in Pittsburgh, but I'm still taking him in this pass-heavy offense, especially since Kansas City's running backs kind of hurt. So that's what we're looking at. Another one for Green Bay. There's so many. This is the only problem. There are so many arms, hands, mouths to feed in this Green Bay offense. It's scary. They split it around everywhere. But Christian Watson makes sense. Everyone's going to be obviously on Reed and Dontavian Wicks, who they had injuries. So Christian Watson returned to the field and caught 3 or 4 passes for 68 yards last week and a touchdown. So if you are needing a wide receiver, you could look at him. Move to tight ends. Cole Kmet. We absolutely love Cole Kmet. Had him in our DFS write-ups last week. Love him here. Still fighting targets with DJ Moore, but I absolutely, if you are needing some sort of tight end, he finishes as 2 finishes in the top 3 of tight ends, week 3 and week 6. He scored 2 touchdowns in London against the Jaguars. Again, they are a very bad defense. Second highest yardage total of the season was 70 yards in that London game. Another one's Taysom Hill. Versatile. He's, rib injury. He's got the tight end position. He throws the ball as well as he's a backup quarterback. They utilize him as a running back. So you've got that situation there. If you want to see other spots, we have a Discord. We have everything else. So make sure you go check out fantasyteamadvisors.com. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel, FTAsports, over there as well. This video is posted to TikTok and reposted over on YouTube as well. At advisors_team on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So if you guys got questions, you got stardom, sit-em questions, you've got that. Like this video and comment some of your favorite waiver wire additions this week that we may not have discussed. We're going to put more in the Discord as well. It's completely free. So if you want to check it out, it is in the description of all of our YouTube channels as well. Good luck in the waiver wire. Good luck in your season-long leagues. Good luck in DFS. Let's bring home some bacon.